Hi friends, welcome back. Story of Vijay Malya's Bungalow Penthouse in Bangalore. चलो देखें अभी भी है कि नहीं है.
नहीं यार
चलो देखते हैं. तो चलो वीडियो शुरू करते हैं. वीडियो शुरू करने से पहले अगर आप चैनल पर नए हो और आपने अभी तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो जल्दी से पहले सब्सक्राइब के बटन और बेल आइकन को क्लिक कर लो ताकि आपको हमारे सारे न्यू वीडियोस के नोटिफिकेशन मिल जाएं जैसे हम अपलोड करें.
अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आता है प्लीज लाइक एंड शेयर. चलिए शुरू करते हैं.
What's the most ridiculously expensive thing you've bought in your life?
I mean, it depends what. I mean, you're talking about a car, you're talking about painting, you're talking
Whatever,
about
most expensive.
property.
जो भी
Give me
most expensive
example of one each.
No, I mean, look, I have a family trust set up by my father that, has acquired various properties in different parts of the world. The media said I had over 20 properties, probably one in each country I went to, which is, once again, a hugely erroneous exaggeration. Yeah, sure, I have properties in England, properties in America, where my kids live. I had a lovely property in France, which you rightly pointed out, owned through Gizmo, which is a holding company. And then when I had the big brewery business in South Africa, we had a home in Cape Town, which was sold when the business was sold because I had no reason to keep going there. That's about it.
And you talk about one of your houses which was very spoken about. Actually, two of them.
Yeah.
One is that big bungalow which is in India at the Kingfisher
That's in
Tower.
Bangalore.
Bangalore.
It
What was the
started,
intent?
it started off as a joke.
Okay. What
You
story
know, the
behind it?
brewery house, which is the bungalow, was on that piece of land for over 100 years. That's where I grew up.
In that bungalow.
That's where my father lived.
वो तो किसी और चीज के ऊपर था.
And so when these developers came and asked me that land should be developed and that it would be very beneficial for the company and that there was a huge profit potential, I said, I should put the company first and unlock the value and the potential rather than be selfish and say, no, I'm not moving. So in a joking way, I said to Irfan Razak of Prestige, very dear friend of mine, top man, I said, Irfan bhai, if you lift this building and put it on top of the tower you want to build, I'll agree.
वही तो.
He said, okay, that's what we'll deliver.
क्या तो ऊपर है ये?
That's what they did.
हद है.
Wow. What is there inside the house? I always wonder every time I go to Bangalore.
It's unfinished. It's unfinished because it's embroiled in this UBHL liquidation controversy right now. But, given that the banks are settled, and I think UBHL should come out of liquidation and be restored to its shareholders, which is what I'm working on now.
You bought IPL team, RCB, Royal Challengers Bangalore. How did that happen? When did this idea come to you? Were you approached? You approached?
अभी भी है क्या?
What was it? Tell me everything.
Bangalore और RCB.
I think I've already explained to you
मेरे ख्याल से तो नहीं है.
the concept behind building a personality for a brand, about communicating marketing ethos via sporting events, via music events, and various other forms that would be attractive to youngsters. I just acquired Shawallis, and one of the biggest brands that I acquired was Royal Challenge whiskey. And I was thinking of ways and means of now taking Royal Challenge whiskey to the next level,
तभी रॉयल
which
चैलेंजर्स
required
बना है.
a lot
इसने
of
बना नाम दिया.
marketing, innovation, thinking. And at the time the IPL was conceived, I was actually sitting on the BCCI committee as a representative of the Karnataka State Cricket Association. And I was very impressed with the pitch that Lalit Modi made to the BCCI committee about this league. And of course, he was working through
ललित मोदी का भी तो
jumping through the
कंट्रोवर्सी
hoops.
चल रही थी.
BCCI
ये तो
was
कुछ था पंगा.
quite bureaucratic at that time. But nevertheless, he called me one day and said, okay, fine, we're ready to go. Teams are going to be auctioned. Are you going to buy? And I thought to myself, I said, wow, in a country where cricket is a religion, what better platform can I have to promote my brands than through an IPL franchise? And I got greedy. I wanted one for Kingfisher and one for Royal Challenge, my whiskey brand.
Okay.
He said, no, you cannot possibly have two. You can only have one. Anyway, bidding time came. And I think I was pretty excited about having an IPL team to promote one of my brands. And so I bid for 3 franchises.
Okay.
I lost Mumbai by a very small amount of money, but then
Baby.
that's not surprising that Ambani's got it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wound up being the highest bidder for 3. And I had to choose one. So I obviously chose Bangalore. And it then was natural that it would be Royal Challengers Bangalore because the whiskey was Royal Challenge. And that's how RCB was born.
But it was not a business, it was not for the love of cricket, it was more like a business decision that it will help my brands. Or was it both?
This is it. The media narrative will be, well,
Business.
vanity project. Vijay Mallya loves cricket. He wanted to buy his own team.
Yeah.
Flamboyance. The usual narrative about me. But the sole purpose always was promotion of the Royal Challenge whiskey brand. So it was very much business driven. And that's why it was called Royal Challengers.
But did it help after
Oh,
that?
massively.
The whiskey sales went up?
Massively. Massively. And of course, quite apart from it doing its job to promote the whiskey brand, the IPL franchise model itself, as explained in great detail by Lalit, and which is true now, is that the revenues, the media revenues is so high, the payment of the franchise fee over 10 years is over. So now there's a significant net profit for every franchisee. It's like a very profitable running independent business.
तो इसका है क्या इसमें भी?
So much so for it being a vanity project.
I don't know.
How much did you buy it for?
I think $112 million is what I bid.
And that time it would be like 600-700 crores or more than.
Yeah, I think, but Lalit was clever. Everything was denominated in dollars. The bid price was.
Okay.
So I think 112 million, which of course people balked at that time. But in hindsight, if you look at it and do the math, it was a top class investment. I mean, look at what the teams are worth today.
Yeah.
I mean, they're worth $1 billion.
You know, one thing which was exciting in your pitch, in your bid for RCB, was Virat Kohli.
I
Virat
picked
Kohli,
Virat.
under 19, you bid for him. And you, if I'm not wrong, you got it for like 20 lakhs something.
Correct.
Why did you pick Virat at such a young age?
Well, obviously they were the young cricketers, and it was draw by lots, right? And fine, I got lucky, so I got to pick, and I immediately went for Virat. I mean, I looked just, I think, shortly before the actual selection process. They were playing the Under-19 World Cup, and I was very impressed. And so I picked him, and it's wonderful. 18 years later, he's still there.
They were just his performance, or were
No,
you able to see
absolutely.
something?
Yeah, he was a young kid at that time when I got him, but full of energy, great talent, and one of the greatest Indian cricketers ever.
If you had the choice to pick 2 or 3 players from other teams for RCB today, who would you pick?
If dreams could come true, Jasprit Bumrah.
Yeah.
If dreams could come true, Surya Kumar Yadav,
अच्छा.
Rishabh Pant, and KL Rahul. If I had these 4, I wouldn't need anybody else and definitely win the trophy.
And do you think this year, even when you don't have these 4, you would
The RCB
win the
lineup,
trophy this year?
the RCB lineup is pretty balanced.
Yeah.
सीखे अभी भी क्या?
Top class batting lineup,
So I think so.
a much improved bowling lineup. I haven't seen Bhuvneshwar Kumar play in RCB colours yet, but he's a top class bowler. But as a unit, I can say it's a pretty balanced unit, and now it all depends on on-field performance.
You know, this year the captain, Rajat, he's from my city. He's from my neighborhood.
Oh.
like he was literally like 2 houses away from my house. Rajat
Jante
Patidar. So this year, even though I support Mumbai, but this year I'm still voting for RCB.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, let Rajat win the trophy. Okay, but it occurs to me that RCB never winning the cup has actually worked in the RCB favor. Do you think so?
In what way?
In cult following.
No,
like,
no.
Even though you guys have, like, the RCB has never won.
See, that is because the day RCB was conceived. We have had a comprehensive program of fan engagement.
Okay.
Right? We've had even the IPL window is 2 months. Well, we have had activation programs stretching over all 12 months to keep the RCB fans engaged. So it is once again a clear-cut marketing strategy and fan engagement strategy, which has worked. That's why we have such extreme loyalty that win or lose, the chant of RCB is always there.
मैं तो सबसे पहले वो जो घर की दिखाई थी बैंगलोर में उसको देख के हैरान हूँ. मैंने कहा इतनी बड़ी कोई टावर सा बनाया हुआ उसके ऊपर घर बना हुआ ये क्या है. तो मैंने कहा अब समझ में आया. हाँ कि उसने ये कहा तुम्हें ऊपर मेरा रख देना, उसका टॉप पे घर रख दिया.
हो गई डील.
पर अब वो कह रहे हैं शायद गवर्नमेंट ने ले लिया है जिस वजह से अब वो आधा बना हुआ ही पड़ा हुआ है. और दूसरा जो ये आरसीबी का है, ये बताओ कि आरसीबी क्या अभी तक इसकी है कि नहीं है, क्योंकि मैं आई डोंट थिंक, क्योंकि जिस तरह से केसेस चले हुए हैं सब हुआ है, आई डोंट थिंक सो. मुझे तो शक हो रहा है, पता नहीं, आप बताना भैया कि क्या डज ही ओन इट और डज ही नॉट. पर ये बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग था कि बनाने में नाम भी दिया था इसी ने, और इसी ने बनाया और इसी ने, और विस्की के ऊपर था. मेरे को ये भी नहीं पता था, विस्की के ऊपर उसको प्रमोट करने के लिए विस्की को ये नाम दिया था. और विराट को टीम में सिलेक्ट करने वाला भी यही था. ही वाज द वन. एंड 18 जब वो अंडर 18 में खेल रहा था, छोटा सा था, अभी कोई इतना पॉपुलर भी नहीं हुआ होगा, तब ग्रैब किया था. तो वो सब बातें सुन के काफी अमेजिंग था कि मैंने कहा ये मैंने तो कभी सुना ही नहीं है, पता ही नहीं था मुझे. पर वही है कि वो 18 ईयर्स के बाद वो कह रहे हैं कि देखो चाहे वो हारते थे, ये होती है चालाकियां बिजनेस की कि भैया टीम हार रही है पर दीवाने लोग क्यों हैं, क्योंकि उन्होंने ये चाल चली है कि जब भी आईपीएल होता है वो मार्केटिंग बड़ी अच्छी करते हैं. वही तो हम कहते हैं जर्सी की करना है, वो करना है, वो कह रहे पूरे साल करते हैं,
एंगेज रखते हैं फैंस को पूरे साल,
तभी वो फैन उनको भूलते ही नहीं है अपनी टीम को. तो वो है, तो ये इन लोगों के लिए तो सब बिजनेस है. और जो लोग हैं साधे सीधे सिंपल लोग, वो अपना दिल्ली बिछा देते हैं. ये सब बिजनेस और पैसे के लिए, ये सब पैसा,
एजुकेटेड नहीं होते.
अब उनको समझ नहीं आती है. वो टीम या बंदे को किसी को देख के, क्रिकेटर को देख के बस अपनी जान भी देने को तैयार हैं. ये नहीं पता उनको कि कितना मतलब बिजनेस माइंडेड लोग हैं जो तुमको इस तरह से करके करोड़ों कमा रहे हैं. सोचो उस टाइम में जब ये टीम खरीदी थी तो कितने करोड़ों खर्च किया था. मैं तो नंबर सुन के अमाउंट में तो चक्कर आ गई. मैंने बंदे के पास इतना पैसा है कि वो एक टीम इतने की खरीद पा रहा है. बाय गॉड. तो चलो यार, आप भी शेयर करना अपने थॉट्स. चलते हैं, मिलेंगे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में बहुत ही जल्द. टिल देन टेक केयर एंड बाय बाय.
तो अगर आप मेरे इस चैनल पे नए हो तो जल्दी से सब्सक्राइब के बटन को हिट करो और बेल आइकन को क्लिक करो ताकि आपको मेरा जब नया वीडियो मैं लगाऊं आपको उसके बारे में जल्दी से पता चल जाए.